It started like something out of a political crime drama. FBI agents sweeping into Dolton Village Hall, armed with federal subpoenas and a mandate to dig deep. At the center of the storm, Tiffany Henyard, the once celebrated and later notorious politician, who proudly called herself America's super mayor. For a time, she controlled both Dolton's mayor's office and the Thornton Township supervisor's seat, a rare consolidation of local power. But today, her political empire lies in shambles, weighed down by accusations of corruption, misuse of public funds, and personal excess that drained the coffers of two municipalities and left taxpayers fuming. From 2021 to 2025, Henyard's tenure as Dolton mayor was defined less by civic progress and more by financial chaos. While Dolton's median household income hovered around $54,000, Henyard pulled in a staggering $347,000 annually, nearly triple the salary of some big city mayors, while also authorizing herself $1 million security detail. Her travel bills read like the itinerary of a globe-trotting celebrity: first-class flights, luxury hotels, and more than $67,000 in expenses for trips to cities like Portland, Austin, and New York. The optics were made worse by her taste for spectacle: gold-plated microphones at public events, DJs spinning at board meetings, and a relentless self-branding campaign that painted her as Dolton's savior while the town sank deeper into debt. By the time voters ousted her in 2025, Dolton was $10 million in the red. Thornton Township, which she also controlled, went from a $2 million surplus to a $2 million deficit. Local services suffered. Vendors went unpaid. Lawsuits piled up, nearly 40 in total, with over $20 million in potential liabilities. And while residents were watching essential services crumble, Henyard's critics alleged that she was more focused on punishing her enemies than fixing problems. Small business owners claimed they were targeted for refusing to donate to her civic events. Lawrence Gardner, a U-Haul operator, went public with his story. After he declined to give $3,500, Henyard's administration allegedly blocked the renewal of his business license. It was this mix of fiscal collapse, personal extravagance, and alleged retaliation that drew the FBI's attention. In April 2024, agents executed their first major strike: 2 federal subpoenas aimed squarely at Henyard's administration. They wanted records not just on her, but on her inner circle: top aide Keith Freeman, 3 Dolton police officers, for trusty allies, and even her boyfriend Kamal Woods. The scope was broad: campaign finances, charity records from her now-shuttered nonprofit Tiffany Henyard Cares, and details about a questionable land deal involving Woods. Freeman himself quickly became a key figure in the unfolding drama. Charged with bankruptcy fraud for hiding income from Dolton, he faced serious prison time, and sources whispered that he might be willing to turn on Henyard in exchange for leniency. Meanwhile, the FBI was quietly using electronic surveillance, a sign that this was no surface-level investigation. The pressure only mounted in February 2025, when the feds issued another subpoena, expanding their net to include more digital records, emails, and internal communications about township finances and property deals. Residents began to wonder aloud whether this would finally be the moment when Henyard faced real consequences, or she would somehow, like so many Illinois politicians before her, slip through the cracks. Public outrage boiled over. Dolton board meetings became shouting matches, with residents demanding her resignation, and trustees accusing her of concealing spending from both the public and the board itself. Social media groups like Dolton Politics exploded with posts calling her a walking scandal and accusing her of destroying the town. Community trust was at rock bottom. One lawsuit even alleged she and trustee Andrew Holmes were involved in a sexual assault against a former assistant and a police officer from her security team. Churches and business owners joined the legal pylon, accusing her administration of discrimination and intimidation. But Henyard didn't retreat quietly. She fought FOIA requests, even being held in contempt of court for months for refusing to release public documents. She leaned into spectacle, releasing a disco-themed track to mock her critics after a failed recall attempt, and in mid-2025 announcing a $99 autobiography that many online dismissed as a cash grab. Through it all, she maintained powerful connections, including ties to Illinois House Speaker Chris Welch, and relied on a seasoned attorney, Michael Del Galdo, to navigate the legal minefield. Now, the political stage in Dolton looks very different. On May 5, 2025, newly elected Mayor Jason House was sworn in, immediately launching his Dolton United initiative. His plan is built on transparency, financial audits, and restoring public trust, along with tangible benefits like free CTA rides for residents. In Thornton Township, State Senator Napoleon Harris has taken over as supervisor, tasked with cleaning up the $2 million budget deficit left in Henyard's wake. Still, the big question hangs in the air. Will Tiffany Henyard face criminal charges, or will she become yet another entry in Illinois' long list of scandal-plagued politicians who never see the inside of a courtroom? The FBI isn't talking. The subpoenas, the witness interviews, the electronic surveillance, all point to a serious federal probe. But history shows that in Illinois politics, serious doesn't always lead to sentencing. For Dolton's 21,000 residents, the stakes are personal. Their town has been through financial ruin, political dysfunction, and national embarrassment. Some believe Henyard's downfall is inevitable. Others fear she could stage a comeback, especially if she spins her version of events successfully. One thing is certain. The town's future now rests on leaders who can resist the temptations that brought Dolton to this point, and on a community determined not to be fooled again.